All right, first and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. People have heard about Ruth in the Bible. Nationality. Moabite. What do you say? What say you? Moabite. Moabite. Israelite. Moabite. Israelite. Israelite. Zahab. Moabite. Moabite. Moab. Berea. Well, his brother. The Bible says Moabite. Plain. Some brothers have gone into the book of Ruth and attempted to substantiate that she is an Israelite. There's been something that's been going around Israel for a couple of years. As far as myself and the deacon, we ain't really ever gone into it. We've heard arguments on both sides. We've kind of been on the fence about it. That's why you've never seen a camp produce a video about what is Ruth. We ain't gonna produce a video on something until we felt like we figured it out and we're comfortable enough with bringing it out because we have an understanding on something. So we've never done one on Ruth. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we were able to receive the understanding about Ruth. There are some very key points in the book of Ruth that disqualify the possibility of her being an Israelite. All right. So I want to go over these key points briefly. Okay. Let's go to Ruth 4 and the 10th verse. But young brother had brought it out. Young brother who had brought it out actually out of True Nation brought some things to a lot of people's attention in regards to it. So I'm not going to go through a whole in-depth breakdown on it. They went through a pretty good and thorough in-depth breakdown through the spirit on it. I just want to hit the 5 points that these are just the KO punches. She can't be an Israelite. So we're gonna go there. 4 and 10.
Chapter 4, verse 10.
Everybody listen up. Go ahead.
Moreover, Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon.
All right, Ruth the Moabite. So the Bible's calling her a Moabitess. Read.
Have I purchased to be my wife?
Okay. What did we notice there? She was bought. Leviticus 25 and 44. She was bought. Can you buy a sister? Of course not. I'll tell you who you. Let's say you said what? Being bought as a slave to somebody. She's being bought from one Israelite. She's a transaction from one Israelite to another, right? Officer. Exactly. We're gonna prove it. Go ahead.
Leviticus 25 and 44.
Both
thy bondmen and thy bondmaids shall be of the heathen.
Shall be of what?
Of the heathen.
Go ahead.
That are round about you. Of them.
Is Moab a heathen that's round about us? They right at our border. Go ahead.
Of them shall ye buy.
Shall you what?
Shall ye buy?
So he bought this girl. You shall buy, according to the law, the heathen. Like, go ahead.
Bondmen and bondmaids.
Bondmen and bondmaids. All right, so that's that there. That's one of the knockout blows right there. That's like the when the white boy got. Boy, that was that first uppercut that hit the white boy on Tuesday. Now watch this. Skip to verse. Or just skip to verse 16 and you hold Genesis and start at the top.
16.
Yeah, go to 16, Captain. Go ahead.
Ruth 4 and 16. And Naomi took the child.
Naomi. Who is Naomi in this story? The mother-in-law whose sons died, married to one of them sons, right? Go ahead.
It says, and Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom.
Did what?
And laid it in her bosom.
Laid it in her bosom. Go ahead.
And became nurse unto it.
Keep going to 17.
Verse 17. And the woman, her neighbor, gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi.
Wait, who is there a son born to?
There is a son born to Naomi.
But wait, but Ruth had the baby. What happened? Read it again.
And the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi.
There is a son born to Naomi. So we read about Ruth. We read about her giving birth, and then the Bible stops talking about her. Right here in this, it's not about her anymore. The baby was immediately given to its grandmother. Why? Because she's not an Israelite. Give me Genesis 30. Start at 1, read to 3. There's only time where you see a woman physically give birth to a baby and the baby not be called hers is when she's a concubine. We'll prove it. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, or else I die.
She said, give me children. Rachel demanded Jacob gave her children. What was the problem with that? Who knows the problem with that? She's demanding children from this man, but why can't she have children? She's barren. This is Rachel. Rachel can't have babies. She eventually has two, but at this point, she can't have babies. Let a man give her babies. How can a man then give her babies? A concubine got to come in. That's how we had a surrogate mother in that time. You would get a heathen woman to bear seed, and the seed would be called the mother that gave him the heathen woman. You see what I'm saying? So they're her kids, even though somebody else had them. An Israelite woman could keep her kid. A heathen woman given, you see what I'm saying? That's whoever she was enslaved to's kid, which is in this case Rachel. Naomi, Ruth was basically a handmaid of Naomi. Birth to that child, that's Naomi's child. That's not Ruth's child. Why? Because Ruth is not an Israelite. You only see this in cases of concubines. Read on.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
Jacob got mad about it. Damn, I'm supposed to give you kids. You can't have kids. It ain't on me. You see me knocking your sister up. Okay, go ahead.
And he said, am I in God's stead?
He said to God, I can't open your womb up. To open your womb. I can't do that. Read on.
Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of thy womb?
He cut her so cut. He said, God don't want you to have no babies right now.
Right.
I can't do nothing about it. Listen, I got just out to turn your sister into a factory. Okay? The hell is wrong with you? Go ahead.
It says, behold, my maid.
So what does she do? What a powerful sister would do. She said, all right, I can't open my womb up, but guess what? My babies. That's what happened with Ruth and Naomi. Naomi lost her sons. Her son's wife, she said, I'm going to have babies. They're going to come out of this womb. We're going to rent this heathen womb to do it. Gave a heathen womb to Jacob to bear seeds to her. Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her.
He said, what? She said, do what?
Go in unto her.
She said, you knock this girl up.
She shall bear upon my knee.
Upon what?
Upon my knee.
And this was a figure of speech. For her maid to bear upon her knees, meaning those kids would be her kids, though they come out of her womb. That's the exact case that happened in the book of Ruth. Ruth was essentially a surrogate mother. And only a concubine could be a surrogate mother. You wouldn't treat an Israelite woman as a surrogate mother. She has a right to her kids. Have rights to her kids in that instance. A heathen does, who's a handmaid or a slave. A slave don't have rights. You see what I'm saying? Do you have rights to your kids in this country? You sure don't, because CPS will come and take them, showing you don't have any damn rights. Okay? So it ain't no different. This is how societies operate. Go ahead.
It says that I may also have children by her.
By what? She said, Rachel said, I'm going to have children by her. Right. Naomi had children by her. Who is the her? Ruth. That's what the book of Ruth is about. The book of Ruth is not about Ruth. The book of Ruth is about Naomi. It's about Obed. It's about Jesse. And ultimately, it's about the Davidic line and the Messianic line. David, Solomon, Yahushua. That's what it's about. It's about Ruth. Ruth is a subjugated slave girl in the whole book. She's nothing but that in the whole book. Everybody's like, oh, she's an Israelite. She's a slave woman. Right. Read the book.
Somebody said, what is the Hebrew word for purchase in Ruth 4:10?
The same word the same word for purchase in Leviticus or buy in Leviticus 25 and 44.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the same word. That's why we precepted it with that. Plain and simple.
So Yahadiah, first of all, that's I don't know if that's Yiddish or what, brother, but there's your answer.
The woman is a heathen, huh? Just like the Bible says. She's a Moabite, just like the Bible says she's a Moabite. Yeah, the concubines to have the babies. That's the only way. How else is that Naomi's baby? Naomi ain't had a baby. Naomi probably was menopausal. She couldn't have no baby. But all of her sisters came out and danced with her and said, the Lord has given you a baby. How did the Lord give her a baby? Ruth had to read that part again in Genesis. That's the dagger. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 2, verse 3. Behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her. Go ahead. And she shall bear upon my knees.
Boaz, Ruth bore upon the knees of my Naomi in the same fashion. Go ahead.
That I may also have children by her.
That I may what?
That I had children by her.
She had children by her. Naomi had children by Ruth. Plain and simple. Why? Because did Naomi lose both of her kids? She didn't have either one of her sons, nor her husband. She was raised up through Ruth. Matter of fact, I need somebody to there's another there's one more. Yeah, get Esau out of there.
Well, hello, niggas. You're still playing Israelites?
Damn double. No. Okay. So also get Ruth 1, matter of fact, somebody as well. Get Ruth 1, because there's a real key in Ruth. Because here's what guys do. We just went to the meat and potatoes of it. To the Bible, she can't be an Israelite, or else Naomi's kids can't be her kid can't be Naomi's kid, and she can't get bought like a slave, if of course she's an Israelite. So that's impossible. But here's the rhetoric. Guys will begin this argument and predicate it upon rhetoric. Rhetoric that they'll begin to predicate this argument upon is, how come a heathen has a book in the Bible? Read Ruth 1:1.
Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land.
And wait, read it again.
Now it came to pass.
Now it what?
Came to pass.
Now what?
Came to pass.
That what happened?
In the days when the judges ruled.
When who ruled?
The judges ruled.
When the judges ruled. The book of Ruth comes after what book in the Bible? The book of Ruth is a part of the book of Judges. Okay? That's all it is. It's been isolated for a political reason. What the political reason about the isolation of the book of Ruth is about, and why the scribes of old isolated it and made it its own, when it's originally just a part of the book of Judges, and the heathen never had her own book in the Bible. This is the book of Judges. So no, the reason why they did it was in the Abijah.
Probably because to show where the line of David.
No, here's the reason. That's the reason the history is there, but the reason it was isolated as if it was his own book was based upon Nehemiah. There was a huge controversy amongst Israelite men. What was that controversy? They were dealing with heathen women. When you read about the details of those various relationships with heathen women, what was the major problem with those unions? And the religions of these women, and let their kids be raised up in it. So the reason why they isolated Ruth, and you brothers could do the research and look it up in the history, the reason why Ruth was isolated was because they were trying to show, look, hypothetically, if you were to deal with a heathen woman, Ruth came in and humbled herself to our laws and humbled herself to our God. what y'all niggas is doing. Y'all letting this Asian girl and the white girl and the Hamite girl run roughshod. You see what I'm saying? And you letting your kids be damn Christians and Muslims, basically. Okay, and Buddhists. If you're gonna do it and you did it like this, it may not be so much opposition, but you niggas is letting your kids become damn heathens, man. And that's how the Gentile process began, going back to that time, which of course was in part the precursor to what we see in Paul's missions in the New Testament. But essentially, that's the point. This is just a part of the book of Judges that was isolated to cut certain of the priests and certain of the Israelite men in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. This is just a part of the book. A heathen don't have our own book in the Bible. And again, this whole story is more so about Naomi, and it's more so about the Davidic line than it is about, okay? Because as you see, after Ruth bears the seed, it's Naomi. It's the Naomi show. All right. When Ruth, matter of fact, it says yeah, read 10.
Con, Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 10. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people.
Unto what?
Thy people.
You can't go anywhere and show where an Israelite told another Israelite, go to thy people. You can't do it. Because the argument is that guys are trying to bring is that she was a Reubenite, right? Here's the issue. A Reubenite and a Judite are the same people. They didn't say go back to thy tribe. It said go back to thy go back to thy people. Because they were two different people. They were two manner of people, Moabite and Israelite, right? There's another key. Verse 4, chapter 1, verse 4. Oh, boom. Yeah, read that. That's beautiful, beautiful. There's one, the first chapter and that last chapter, that's where all the key hits are at to make you clearly understand it. Because brothers is really trying to make this into you got to do a lot of work to turn Ruth into an Israelite. I mean, say a woman of Moab or a Moabite woman. Granted, we lived in certain places and that happened later in time, but this early in our history, that was not something that's prominent. Right? So read that.
Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 4. And they took them wives of the women of Moab.
Of Moab, not the women of Reuben. They try to say that this means Reuben. No, the women of Reuben are never called the women of Moab. Right. Saying this is because during the conquest of Canaan, when we went and took the land in the book of Joshua, right? The Reubenites took the plains of Moab. But here's the thing. It's Reuben's land is never referred to as the plains of Moab after they conquer it. Why is that? Because they conquered it. It's mine now. It's Reuben. It's not Moab anymore. Plains of Moab are different from what this says, because this says, read verse 1 again.
Con. Book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled.
In the days when the judges ruled, go ahead.
That there was a famine in the land. And Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab.
In the what?
Country of Moab.
Not the plains of Moab that Reuben conquered. The country of Moab. You look these things up in the Bible, you'll understand these are different places. All right? You're thinking nowadays, when you think the country is America, no, the country is a certain type of land and terrain that was possessed by a certain people, same as plains are. In this country, you have mountains. In this country, you have plains. In this country, you have shore and things of that nature. All right. If something was in the shores of Israel, that was at the shore. That didn't mean Jerusalem. That wasn't in the mountains. That wasn't in the plains. So when you read plains, country, shore, it's talking about a different aspect of the land allotted to whatever people is referring to. So all the Reubenites took was the plains that pertained to Moab, that after they took it no longer pertained to Moab and were never mentioned again as being the land of Moab were only referred to as the land of Reuben. Therefore, what? That doesn't work. Right?
Right.
I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's, if you wanted to still be an Israelite, whatever, you know, but yeah, but it's getting, it's getting into mother worship, right? And also, here's another argument. These guys will go to Deuteronomy 23, where it says a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation. Say, well, how is Ruth a Moab? When did she enter into the congregation? See, that's the problem. Like, I don't even know what that's talking about. Enter into the congregation. That's talking about go into the temple and give a sacrifice, right? When has Ruth ever said to go into the temple and give a sacrifice? So what does that do? That boots the Mamzer doctrine out the window. Because understanding that Ruth is a Moabite, it says that now here's what these guys who cook this Mamzer doctrine say. If you have any admixture of Edomite, that you have to wait 3 generations in order to enter back into Israel, right? But in the same chapter, it says in the case of Moab and Ammon, you got to wait 10. David comes 3 generations later, 10. Therefore, how could David not only enter the congregation, which he did, he went to the congregation, ate the showbread, all right? He was king over the nation.
He put on the ephod.
He put on the ephod, right? So that takes that doctrine and shows that none of those guys have any idea what they're talking about. All right, and they're pushing a damn Willie Lynch doctrine. But not only that, then 2 generations after David, which is Rehoboam, who was king over Israel. What was Rehoboam's mother? Ammon. She was an Ammonite woman, right? That's plain and clear in the Bible. You ain't gonna turn her into an Israelite. It says Rehoboam, who was the son of the Ammonites. You ain't turning her into an Israelite. I'm sorry about it. There's not enough scripture for you to try to make her into an Israelite, right? Because another doctrine and another agenda that gets pushed through this is had a pure Israelite lineage all the way through, which is impossible because Judah's mother is a Canaanite. Possible, number one. But even if Ruth wasn't a Moabite and was an Israelite, there's still an Ammonite there in the case of Rehoboam. So all of that is just out of the window. All right. The story is not truly about Ruth. It's about Naomi, and it's about the Davidic line, which is the most important line on the planet Earth. Birth David and ultimately birth Yahushua, the Messiah. Well, yeah, when they deal with that aspect, exactly. He had a different admixture in there. You see what I'm saying? Everybody getting messed up. Well, if ruddy means red or red bone, then why is it? How did he become that? All of a sudden, you see what I'm saying? Mother so-called Chinese woman makes perfect sense. Now, wait a minute. I know there's guys out there that teach we're the Moabites, right? Y'all seen the debate? Oh, the Moabites, right? But when I looked at that Moabite sarcophagus, that looked like a damn Chinaman to me. It looked like it to you too. Look at them eyes, man. That's a Chinaman. I don't know. I don't know what y'all seen. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, that's plain and simple. You ask somebody?
I just wanted to say, man, I just got to give it up for Kodak Black, man.
Kodak Black at Light of Zion tonight for Shabbat service.
Kodak Black at the Light of Zion Shabbat service, man. He's really pushing for us. Kendrick Lamar played us, man. He just took this Israelite dollar, got an extra $500,000 off of his album sales, and you haven't heard anything about him. Clearly showing that.
Damn, this is cold. Service. That's cold. Because you sent me this, but Kahan I didn't even check my phone. Kahan sent me it.
Yeah, that's cold.
That's crazy. Right? That's beautiful.
So shout out Kodak Black, man. We hope he stays strong, man, in this thing, and really fully converts.
That's right. You know, but whatchamacallit,
any questions in the chat? Any scoffers?
I know everybody, a lot of people wanted to make Ruth an Israelite, which in our case, we're indifferent to it. Whatever the scripture said, we was gonna go with. We don't have any agenda on it, but I mean, the scriptures was clear. You see what I'm saying? Once, you know, the brothers went into it, I was able to receive it instantly and in the spirit. And I mean, I believe it's pretty clear. We're not buying and selling, trading sisters, are we? You know, I wouldn't think so. I think that's something that we trying to get brothers to stop doing.
Yeah, remember,
you know what I mean?
From a dowry, remember?
Yeah, because it's not a dowry. A dowry is not buying a woman. A gift to a father. You see what I'm saying?
Because she was a virgin.
Yeah.
So.
And then Ruth was not a virgin. And where was Ruth's daddy to get a dowry? So that wasn't no damn dowry. Don't try to play that game.